Hello, owl. Wow, that was cool. I turned the van around for the first time ever. You know, the wind blows this other direction actually, and so it might be better. As long as I still have a signal, that might be better. Look how this is coming along. I was actually able to jerry-rig that piece of, you know, it's like a wrap for the side of a 2x6 or whatever, but just in case it rains, you know, I started to jerry-rig that, and I tested it. It works great. I'm just getting beat, you know, and I gotta use the grinder to cut this one to get the last piece in and then pipe it down into the thing. So I don't know, maybe I'll just at least get this last piece cut, although I don't really want it right now. Then at least that gutter's all done, except for the pipe down. I can do the pipe down into the tank tomorrow. In between doing that, I've been going back and forth on other things, and one of them is I've been building out the door where I decided to do it. So as you guys probably know, there's not a door on the shed, right? But I've got it mapped out, so I'm framing in where the door goes and then cutting out the few screws that are in the way. And then I think once I do the board and batten, then once I get that in, I can probably show you how the door works and whatnot. And I do have to get 3 hidden hinges. I had to special order them, so that's what we'll do. That's how I'm living, guys. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. Give me a like, leave me a comment, ask me a question, hit notifications. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, chickies. I'm here with Farm Dog Incus, and he's such a good boy, he didn't even eat any chickens. I'm going to work on the chicken coop. So since this coop, you see I turned it on its side because I've got it completely wrapped in that mesh and it'd be difficult to work on. So I turned it on its side because there's no mesh on the bottom. That way I can frame in this door here. And once I frame the door in, I can attach that mesh to the door, cut the mesh out, whatnot. I think I'll actually wrap the entire bottom in chicken wire. Then I'll lay it back down, wrap the entire thing in chicken wire, and we'll take it from there. So right here, to make it easy, I just laid some studs in to the frame that was already there to map out how wide they needed to be and how tall they needed to be. So I cut those pieces, and then I just pieced them together to make the actual door. So the outside is the door frame, and then the inside is the door. Then once I got it in here, I realized that when I slapped the frame together in the first place, I accidentally did it a ½ inch wider at the bottom, so my measurements were off. So I ripped it apart, fixed it, and then I just went ahead and continued with the chicken wire. This first piece was most difficult because I didn't know how long it had to be. So I just wrapped it around the entire thing, which was a bigger pain in the butt. But then I knew it was 254 inches. You see right there? So then from there on out, every other piece I just cut on the ground, which was a lot easier. And then on the frame down there, I'm using the staples that Ray gave me in the package he sent. They're the smaller staples, and they were perfect for any time I was around the frame. I could staple the chicken wire into the frame directly. Well, I've wrapped about half of it along the sides. I still gotta do the front, and I just wrapped some wire around the little door frame here to hold it up while I threw it up, you see. So next, once I get it wrapped pretty much, I'll use staples to attach the remesh to the door frame. And once it's nice and solid, then I'll just use the grinder and I'll cut around the edges and cut the door out. Meanwhile, a few more sprouts are coming up. That's corn right there. Just in case, I poured just topsoil down in the bottoms of these, and there's 10 corn in there, 10 tomatoes in there, and so I'll just have to be careful. I don't have holes in the bottom or anything. If you live in the desert, I highly suggest grabbing your water in the morning and then putting it in something like this in the shed or in your home or whatever, because then you got cold water throughout the day. And check this out. I got a Dutch oven. So I got my skillet and a Dutch oven, and soon I'm going to set up kind of a rocket stove kind of thing out there. Door inside of it. I went ahead and cut all of the wire mesh around it. I had already stapled the mesh to the door and door frame. And then I'm just going back around and adding staples to every other wire that I hadn't already stapled into place. Some of these on the front were kind of loose, so I stapled those in place as well. So for like a week, every time I come to the back of the van, I'm like, oh, I smell something dead. And I'll look around, and I checked all the mouse traps. There was the rattlesnake over here behind the water tank, so I thought maybe he had killed something. And every time I come over here, I really smell it. And just now, it finally dawned on me. I was over here, and I was like, oh, I should probably add some water to this fly trap. And I started looking at it. And this thing, I don't know if you can see from there, but this thing is just full, like, and the water's run out. There's like hundreds of flies in this thing. And that's what the smell is. That thing stinks. Anyway, I'll show you what I came up with on the chicken coop. Guys, I didn't think it was gonna take me the better part of my life to wrap this thing in chicken wire, but it's taking so much time. Because it's, you know, I gotta make sure the edges are just totally sealed up so that nothing can happen to the little chickies. And then this had to be strapped down really good. I wanted to create shade for part of it, leave the other part open. And in the back, I thought that I was gonna get to building a coop in there today, but I don't know, we'll see if I tried to take a break, and then Incas run out here, and I'm afraid he's gonna get in there. So I just haven't really taken a break, but maybe I can get working on the coop, maybe not. But basically, I'm just gonna put some studs up and then build a floor across it, and then I think I'm just gonna bring a piece of OSB over here and basically trace the arch out, and I'll just cut out 2 of them, you know, and build kind of a coop back here. So that's the plan so far. They probably don't sound like much, and I haven't even, this piece I didn't put wire on yet, but maybe if I cut a piece of wood, then it won't matter if it's butted up against that. So the floor, I even went around and wrapped wire around the floor and then pulled wire up around the edges to make sure that the floor is tight on the front and back. And then the rest of it, I wrapped it around, you know, so it's completely sealed up. And the chickies were out here feeding a little while ago. Look how funny they are. They all just cuddle up next to each other. They were out here getting some food and water, but I guess it's nap time. Anyway, guys, that's about it. So that should kind of give you an idea of what's going to happen when I do the greenhouse. It'll be a larger version of that, and it'll be wrapped in a plastic, clear plastic. So that's about it for today. Hopefully, you know, a few new people tuned in. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, hit notifications, and subscribe so that when I post something new, you'll be able to see it. And comment below, guys, if you have any questions or advice or whatever. And we'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks. I'm just working on the chicken coop part of the chicken run in the back, so that's going to be pretty cool. I haven't used this jigsaw since I got it a long time ago, so I'm going to pull this out so I can cut the arch out of the OSB. The sun has been covered by clouds right now, which I don't mind, but thought I'd show you guys. Look at this. I believe that's squash right there. This one just broke through yesterday. I helped it too a little. And then look at this guy come up this morning. All I did was throw on some of the nicer soil on top. I have no idea why there's birdseed in here. It must have fallen out somehow of the bag. I don't know, but this one, let's see, I think, yeah, that's corn. So there's a few corn coming up, and I think that's all for now. These other ones have they had some starch that went away, but who knows, maybe they'll break through. And if not, I'll just use the soil. I'll reuse the soil is all. I was concerned about the chickens last night, of course, because I just built the coop, and who knows if there's something you missed, but I actually heard a fox call this, or a coyote call this morning. And I haven't heard any in a long time, but I I looked around the perimeter and I don't think they got a visit from the coyotes at all last night. And as you can see in the back, that's all new. I'm building, so this would be, I guess, technically the chicken run. And then in the back, I'm building the coop. And you see that spot that's like an arch, right? I just traced that out on the OSB, and I'm going to use this jigsaw to cut that out. I think you might be able to see the line right up in there. So I'll cut that one out, and then I'll trace it onto the other one. I think the plan is to put one on the inside that'll have a door. There will be a stairway that goes up. They can go in through the door, and then I'll put the other piece of OSB on the outside on the back, and that way I can put a couple doors on it. And I think Incus, no, that's the first time he's done that. Hey, go on, get out of here. Go. Hey, you need to go. Go on. Go further. Huh. Well, I hadn't seen him do that, so good thing there's a cage. I think what I'm going to try to do back here, because it's such a tall space, I think toward the end I'm going to do another stairway, and it'll just go straight up into the next level. And so, you know, the bottom will have 3 or 4 spaces to lay eggs. They'll walk up there, and then there'll be another level with possibly a few more spaces. And then on the back side, there'll be an access panel for both levels. Hopefully that makes sense. Hey guys, so I've got 2 stories built in. Look, they're just already starting to climb. That's funny. But so they can come up here, and on this side I'll probably put in 2 partitions, so there's 3 coops, and then they can come up this way, and I'll put in a partition so that there's 1 there and 3 more here, so we'll have 7 total. And again, I'm gonna put the sheet on the back with some doors that open to each level, and then the one on the front that just has an entrance door. I put the stairs in, cut a hole for the door, and put the front in here. And on the back side, you can see right here, we're gonna put in the couple baffles so they got their egg laying spaces. And then right now I've mapped out the back piece. I'm going to cut it so that there's basically, I'm furring out the stud, and then a hinge could go between the stud and the next flap, and it could flap down to get eggs. And then I'll fur out this piece, and there'll be a hinge on that one, so this top piece can fold down and I can grab eggs. And so I'll show you real quick how that looks on here. Well, I haven't snapped the lines yet, but you see this line, this represents the bottom 2 before, and then the space between will be the cupboard that folds down. And again, a stud, and then a door that folds down. I don't have any hardware, so I'll probably just rig up a way with some wire and screws and whatnot, just like I did on the door. It's just, those are just wire hinges. So I'll do something similar on the back for now until I get around to it, but it'll be secure and it'll do the trick. Well, that's it for the chicken coop for now. I closed off the back and made hinges to open the 2 flaps to access the coops. And I took the chickens and I reached in and put each one of them at the very top, and one flew out immediately, and then I just saw a white one at the door. So it seems like they're kind of figuring it out. I guess we could go take a look and see where they're at. Well, I got rid of their boxes too, so they'll just naturally... Is there anyone right here? Nope. They're all upstairs. Hey guys. You want to come down and eat? So I'll just keep their food and water down here, so they'll come back down, and then they'll start to figure out the stairway, I would hope. See, so on this side you can see I just put screws. See, this piece is fixed, and this is a door. So I put screws on both sides and wrapped wire around it. I did the same thing on this side. So they're kind of like hinges. And then this is just, I can just pull this little hook off and fold this down so that I can grab eggs out of the separate coops. And then on the top, it's pretty much the same thing, but I ran out of juice on the drill. So this middle piece is fixed, and then we got hinges. And then up here, I just put a piece of wire that's easy to move out of the way. And then, well, I can't probably do it very good. There we go. So then this door folds down. Oh, hello, ladies. How are you? So that'll do for now till I get some hardware. Not everything has to be, oops, so expensive and difficult. I don't think it's sitting on there quite right now. There we go. All right, Incus, let's go. I probably just need to wrap up a few edges and whatnot on the chicken run and chicken coop, I guess. And then I got to decide what to do next. I think at this point that getting the floor done is probably most important. That's what I was about to do last time, but then the whole chicken thing started happening. So I'm going to focus on lining the raised beds and moving over some of the compost, manure, soil mix. And then I can put some of the new potting soil on top and start getting ready to plant some of these things that are growing. And I need to get that floor in there because, well, it needs to be done anyway. Plus, it'll block out any dust from coming in. And then I can start on the board and batten siding and putting in that door, which I need to get the hinges next week. So awesome. If you guys like the content, hopefully you'll subscribe and hit notifications. I have over 7,000 followers on TikTok, so it'd be awesome if you guys all followed, because I've only got about, I don't know, 300 or 400 subscribers on YouTube. So also do me a favor, if you really like the content and you want to do me a solid, share the video. If you can share it to Facebook or wherever you do it, that'll help a lot. So thanks, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. This morning I started with putting batten on the wall so that I could go ahead and start to put the vertical boards on there for the board and batten. The herbs are coming along nicely. As soon as they get a little larger, I'll go plant them out in the raised bed that I have lined with plastic. You could see it right there on the right side for a moment. This is how everything's looking so far. And that wall right there will be the last one to get covered with board and batten. I don't have enough to complete it yet. Back here I just grabbed a pile of the boards and I'm measuring out 4 feet and marking it, hitting them with the speed square, and then moving them over to my pile that's on under the awning on the other side there. So here's the pile all marked out, ready to be moved over and cut. And I just had a little fire this morning to get rid of some trash. When I went to light up the generator so I could run this saw, it didn't start right away. So I added a little gas because I'm trying not to keep a lot in there. I don't want it to gel up if I just leave it sitting. But that didn't do it. So I knew that there was something wrong with the air filter or the spark plug. So I took off the side, that access panel. I thought that the air filter was going to be filthy. I had to actually hand make it because I couldn't get one in time, and I'm clear out here in the middle of nowhere. But it was actually really clean and did the trick. However, there was a little gap on the side, so I put a piece of plastic in there to seal it off. And next, I pulled the spark plug. When I first started running this generator, it's a really good generator, but I'm not sure why, but the spark plug just was super fouled right out the gate. And I think that was still getting through the system. So I cleaned the spark plug and put it back in, and it's been running great. So I was able to cut all of the board. So right here I've got the saw set up, I'm lining it up, and then I cut through everything at 4 feet, so there's just several 4-foot lengths. Finally, I think you can kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like. Obviously, I haven't put any batten on top to seal the seams, and I might not be able to do it all right away, but we'll see what happens. Well, guys, that's about it. I ran out of screws, so that puts building on hold till I go back into town and get another bucket of screws. I'm sure I'll come up with something to do over the next few days before I decide to go to town, and I'll keep you guys up to date. Don't forget to subscribe and hit notifications. Give me a like, drop a comment, and I'll talk to you guys on the next video. Gonna head to town soon, but I thought, what a beautiful sight is that, huh? Got about 20 corn right there. And the same old stuff over here. Watermelon. But we're about to head out. Hopefully we'll get a water tank full of water. This morning I started to reinforce the water tower. It seems funny to call that a tower since it's only 4 feet tall, but I don't know what else you'd call it. But it's been driving me crazy how messy, you know, because I just have too much stuff in here without shelves built yet. So the battery died while I was doing the tower. And to let it charge for a while, I went out and I slammed the perimeter posts, just the corners, you know, for the perimeter. And then the battery's probably about charged right now, but I wanted to, I've been wanting to put the rice, the beans, the flour in these buckets. So I cleaned out these buckets that Jeff gave me. They just had like kind of a powderized bleach in them, you know, so I'll probably die later. Not really. But I rinsed it out, and I filled up one of them with white flour, one of them with long grain rice, and one of them with pinto beans, which I think I'm going to try to grow some of the pinto beans just for shits and giggles. That left me with a few more bags. I still have a few bags of flour and a few bags of rice. But at least the majority of it is in a nice safe container that the mice won't be able to get into. And then I'm going to build the shelf below and the shelf above. That'll leave room to put totes across the bottom or whatever else. Storage above the shelf that I already have. And then probably today, I don't know, maybe today, I will also put in the workbench underneath the painting here that Jeff's lovely wife Linda gave me. So that's kind of what's going on right now. I can show you where we're at on the tower. Also, if you remember, I was telling you there was a mouse getting into the bird feed and whatever. Well, I grabbed the post pounder to go out and put in a few posts this morning. And as I'm putting in that first post, I slammed it a few times and the mouse fell out. Like, I don't know how he was in there, rode all the way to the corner, you know, because I've got posts like this, and he just sat there and rode in the pounder all the way over until I decided to knock the post in, and there he was. I bought this container yesterday. This one's larger. It's 330 gallons apparently. So once I get this reinforced all the way, I think I'll probably, I don't know, it's going to be kind of a process because I think I'm going to have to fill that one completely. And then I have a little bit in this one I think I need to pull out. So I'll move that into the other container. Then I can build a frame under this one as well. I may as well have it on a frame, right? So if nothing else, I'll put a couple pallets under it. But I think I'm going to build another frame similar for that. So I'm going to empty it. And then once I get both of those set up really well, I know it's extra work, but then I can pump, you know, at least half of each of them back into this, and then I'll just use the water out of this one, and that way, just in case it rains, you know, I can get a few hundred gallons. So you know, so I get extra water that way. So I'll just show you on this what I was doing. I just went inside and see how I have this piece of wood. Then I just did the 2x4 inside the same way, and every single time you see one of these straight ones, I've just run a 2x4 that matches it on the inside. And then what the battery died as I was starting to run them across the top. So essentially I'm building in a frame inside this frame for the structure, but I really like the way the pallet wood looks, you know what I mean? Way better than the 2x4. So you know, I've had a few people say, gosh, you need to use 4x4s for that, but you know, a 2x4 at 8 feet is it can hold 1,000 pounds. So you cut it in half, it can hold almost double that. You know, there's 8 of them. It can definitely hold 2,000 pounds. So don't worry, guys. I think about things before I do it, I promise. Huh, Ink? You want to catch your bone? Should we throw this for you? Good boy. The chicks are doing well, and I was gonna build one of those waterers, but I didn't have the right stuff to do it here, and to get the little tray that goes under it was like 20 bucks anyways. So this thing's badass. It holds 5 gallons, and it's just totally built out for it. And normally I have to give them water twice a day because they track dirt in there, and then it turns into damn near cement because it's just dust. But if I'll show you, this thing's still clean, and they've had it in there for all day yesterday and today. Not able to get, for some, you know, they're just not able to get nearly as much dirt in there. So it's just going to work out quite a bit better for me for now. And then this little kind of a trough thing is kind of cool too. That was only like 8 bucks or something. And, I think I put twice as much feed in there as I normally give them, and it's so they didn't even go through it yesterday. So maybe it helps them keep it in one place. Why are you all sleeping? Don't you guys got chores to do today? Normally you're running around plucking and singing and drinking and and finally I'll just show you this real quick. Pretty well everything I've planted that I've been showing you is still doing just fine. And then I transplanted a bunch of corn in here, and look, most of them are just laying down. And I used better soil this time. I was much more careful replanting them, and they just fall over. And everything did that when all this stuff that's doing good had pretty well done that before. And I wonder, is that something that you guys all experience when you transplant stuff? Does it pretty well die, and then you just gotta hope it comes back? I'm kind of thinking, as I get over to this one, I'm going to turn everything, get it real nice, put on the extra soil and whatever. And I'm thinking I might just plant everything straight into here, because if it's just going to die when I transplant it, wouldn't it be less risky to put it in here? And if it's thriving, then it just keeps thriving. Anyway, that's where we're at so far. And I'll keep you guys updated if something else comes up today. If you guys aren't subscribed, I hope you subscribe, hit notifications, leave me a comment if you got a question, and talk to you soon. Just as I was wrapping up the shelves, it started getting really windy out there, so I brought Incus in, and I got the shelves all up, and I moved everything from this side over, and I swept all the floors, and it feels really good to have things pretty organized for once, because for a while there, I was like, where's this? Where's that? And once I get this wall on this opposite side up, then I can move over the generator, the saw, you know, the chainsaw, and most of the tools can go over on this side, on the shelf and under the shelf, because like this side, there'll be a workbench basically all the way across, and it'll be deeper than the metal shelves. Well, I guess we'll just kind of hang out, and I guess it could rain too. It said 40% chance, so we might get some rain, but I'll be pretty well done for today. that's about it right for now, I guess. Like, what do you think, Ink? Okay, we'll see you guys next video.